Question 1. Why are there not more women in the political field? Politics is very exciting. It is one of those activities that gives sense to life because you can help transform your society. But it certainly requires a lot of time, huge dedication. Many times it even requires that you have to move along a certain region or country or even around the world, leaving behind your family, your home, or friends. That is certainly something that, in the case of women, represents a risk and an obstacle. And I think that's one of the reasons why many women think twice before dedicating their lives to politics. In addition to that, in countries like Venezuela, my own, where 6 out of 10 households do not have a father present, women have also to provide, not also with love and care, but also being the only source of income. In that case, it makes it even more harder for women to dedicate their lives to politics. Question 2. Does being a woman help or hurt you, or is it a mix? I believe being a woman in politics has both help and hurt. But on the balance, I would say it is a positive outcome. Certainly the fact that I am divorced for more than a decade ago, and I had to raise my 3 kids on my own, make it hard. And also the fact that being in politics in Venezuela today carries big risks, personal risks. Also, it has been hard for my family to understand and to live with that permanent danger present in our lives. The fact that I had to travel so many times, so many days away from my house. I had to miss truly important dates in my family and my kids' lives. It made me feel guilty, and it was quite hard. But on the other hand, I believe that the nature of the fight we're given in Venezuela is ethical, existential. And in our case, we understand it all has to do with promoting a profound transformation in our society for kids and all children to grow in a society in which they have opportunities to develop their talent, to go as far as they can, to live as free and responsible citizens. So as a woman, and being so conscious of the nature of this struggle, I think that has opened many doors and has made it easier to establish trustful relations with citizens around my country, and especially with other mothers. Okay, question number 3. What would you say to the young girls watching? Okay. To all women watching me, young and not so young, I'd like to let you know my own experience. I grew up thinking that the last thing I would dedicate my life was to politics. I thought that that would carry some kind of compromise with my values, my principles. If there's something I regret today, it's not having started my political career earlier. But it has to do precisely with service, with values, with touching lives and making a world better, specifically in your own country. So for women and young girls that have high expectations and big dreams, please consider the possibility of getting into politics and proving how a correct, responsible political career can actually change the world for many. Question number 4. How does being active in politics help society? Well, once again, I'll tell you my own story. I, as an engineer, started working in the private sector. I loved having the possibility to produce, to create jobs and wealth. Then my life took me into the NGO sector, and I was involved in creating 2 foundations that took care of homeless kids. I had both perspectives, but I always felt it lacked the scale dimension, the possibility to really reach out to the whole society. And that's how I realized that getting involved in politics would give you the actual possibility to design policies that could actually touch the lives of a whole society. I've been able to travel around my country to learn about me through learning about others. And every day that passes by, I realize how much I can do in terms of changing lives for the better. Question number 5. Do you think the world needs more women in government? Certainly, and today more than ever. We see a world that's facing huge challenges: cultural, technological, economical, ideological. But the center of all has to do with values. And in that case, I believe women understand what's at stake today. And it has to do with our families, with keeping our families together and keeping our countries together as a huge family. I believe that women involved in politics bring both passion and reason, new ideas, and at the same time, the consciousness that it has to do with the ethical challenges of making a world better. And that's why we see around the world new leaders, women, assuming positions in which many perspectives have to come along and have to be integrated. That's one feature that I believe women around the world are called to do. Question number 6. How did you continue to follow your passion even when people would discourage you? Certainly you will find many people during your whole life saying that you cannot do something, that is way too ambitious, that it's safer to do less. But at the same time, you will see people that with their eyes or with their words will let you know that they trust you. And that's certainly the strength and the energy to keep moving along. In my life, certainly the last years have been very risky in my country, especially in the area where I work. I am quite conscious that with my decisions, positions, actions, I've even put into risk my own family, my 3 kids. They've been threatened to death, and many of my colleagues in our team have had even to leave the country because of the risk we are all facing. But my work that requires that I travel around Venezuela, that I listen, that I share dreams, ideas about a bright future, gives me the chance to realize the strength of the convictions and the profound love that wide majority of my fellow citizens feel today, not only for our country, but for the values we defend and represent. That's the source of my strength and my profound conviction that very soon a new Venezuela will arise, one in which we respect each other as citizens, one in which we act accordingly to our values, and in which we'll see a society prosper, grow with respect, solidarity, and freedom. And that is the best antidote against discouragement or any barrier that can appear in our way. And that's why I am absolutely convinced that one day when we look back, we will thank ourselves, life, and so many people that we've met in this path, that we never were discouraged, but on the contrary, that those obstacles were reasons to fight harder, stronger.